So Mayor Freddie O'Connell has said that he's very concerned. Mayor Freddie O'Connell's on top of this issue, y'all. He's going to get to the bottom of why in the world federal authorities would be involved in taking people that came to the United States of America illegally and sending them back to their countries of origin. Mayor Freddie O'Connell doesn't seem to get it. He doesn't seem to understand. Oh, I remember what it was, Chris. At least one of the things that I promised to pay off. Why we were having no guests today. That's what I believe I was talking about.
Oh, all right.
So I've decided that we will have no guests today and maybe not tomorrow. Because I want to keep the show wide open. We got 3 more hours of show. If you listened yesterday at all, there seemed to be a lot of liberals concerned about these ICE detentions. Senator Heidi Campbell, that Charlene Oliver lady, J.R. Clemens, Afton Ben, Justin Jones, Freddie O'Connell himself, a variety of different Metro councilors. So we reached out to a bunch of them. I think it was 13?
13, yeah.
13 separate representatives in the Nashville area, and we sent them an email. And I wanted to make sure that we did not overbook anyone. I'm guilty of that all the time. So I know that there's been a lot of communication probably floating right back into executive producer Chris Weber's inbox as to when we're going to get these folks on. Because y'all know how liberal Democrats are with defending their values and viewpoints. So, Chris, tell me about the large response that you've received since you sent out these emails.
Yes, let's take a look at the tote board here. Tabulating that. Checking for new messages. Yes.
Okay.
There's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
carry the...
Yeah. 0.
Nobody?
I mean, I can run the calculations again if you really want to.
I mean, let's...
Just double check my math.
I just want...
Yeah.
Is that an abacus? It sounds like an abacus.
Yeah. 0.
It's still 0.
Yeah, still 0.
All right, we'll try to run it again next hour and see what's up. 0. I can't imagine because they seem so concerned on the radio when I hear the clips, the sound bites. They seem so concerned when I see them on the television. They seem so concerned when I go to the social media platforms where they populate. And they're very, very nervous, and they're concerned about the disruption of families in our community. And I'm just... I'm a little confused why they would not come on and present their point of view to us. I mean, after all, you and I are the ones that they have to convince that their position is the right way to act and react to what's going on, right? Right? Because I have a few basic questions for Mayor O'Connell. And sadly, we don't expect that we're going to be getting him on back anytime soon. He was on last week, and we yelled and screamed at him about the property taxes. And so there's that. But the Nashville mayor says, according to the Tennessean, that the city is working to determine exactly how many people were swept up as a part of the recent immigration and customs enforcement operation conducted in Nashville. And with that paragraph, I want to pause and say thank you, Mayor O'Connell. I appreciate you getting on board. You're now helping us engage on a level that I can understand. Because since I've been in the city of Nashville, since I've lived in the state of Tennessee, I've tried to figure out how many damn illegal aliens are around here, too. So I'm glad that you're helping out. Let us know when you get a total. During a news conference yesterday, O'Connell shared details about his office's response to what the Tennessee Department of Homeland Security called a public safety operation in southern Nashville over the weekend. That operation continued into this week. During that op, Tennessee Highway Patrol and ICE partnered to make 150 different traffic stops, detaining an unknown number of people. Yesterday, or maybe this was today. No, this was yesterday. O'Connell told reporters that the city is taking further steps to find out more. But when it comes to the question of whether there's anything Nashville can do to prevent similar ICE sweeps in the future, it appears the city might have their hands tied. Why would the Tennessean write it that way? Listen to how they wrote that. But when it comes to the question of whether there's anything Nashville can do to prevent similar ICE sweeps in the future, who's asking that question? Who? Is Freddie? Is Senator Heidi Campbell? Is Justin Jones? Is J.R. I mean, any of the usual Democratic suspects? Who's asking the question if there's anything that Nashville, quote, can do to prevent similar ICE sweeps in the future? Why would the city of Nashville do anything to try to prevent these sweeps? If anything, the city of Nashville should be assisting in facilitating them. Now, I'm not immune from the humanitarian situation that's going on here. And I understand that there's some folks that are very concerned, and probably rightly so, because they recognize that they are and have been in the United States of America illegally, and they've been allowed to engage in commerce and in work and in freedom of movement illegally since they have come here. And perhaps some of them have become somewhat comfortable in the feeling that their lives will not be disrupted based on the illegal nature of their status in the United States of America. Well, their lives potentially will be disrupted. Not if you're here legally. If you have legal status, if you have a legal asylum claim, you will be left alone. If you have a worker's visa, a green card, any documentation really whatsoever, you will be largely left alone. We identify those individuals that do not have any documentation or paperwork or any reasonable explanation as to why they do not, and they are offered, and we're circling back to the beginning of the show, those people are offered due process. Due process. Due is a very important word there. What process are they due? Well, if you cannot document that you are here legally in any form or fashion, you will be brought before an immigration judge, where that judge will attempt to establish who you are, where you came from, and whether or not you entered the United States of America legally. And if it is determined that you are not currently here legally or that you entered illegally, either or, you will be returned to your country of origin, as stated by you. That is the due process. That an immigration judge ask the question, are you here in the United States of America in any form or fashion legally, or are you not? Now, I feel bad for you folks that thought that enough time had gone by that you felt comfortable in your illegal status. I feel bad for you because I guess I can understand it. And no, I'm not necessarily equating an individual that broke the law by coming across the southern border to another crime doer or a ne'er-do-well, but I am certain that if you commit an action that you believe could be responded to by law enforcement, whatever that action might be, that as a period of time goes on, you become more and more comfortable feeling as if you got away with it. That's natural. That's human. I understand that. And I also understand that we can have great compassion for that human emotion when we take you to a detention facility, remind you that entering the United States of America was an illegal act, and begin the process of removing you. Now, once again, at some point, you and I and the rest of America are going to have a discussion about how deeply we're willing to dig. If you remember my soil analogy from last hour, top layer's leaves, that's easily blown off. The secondary layer, that's easily gotten, you can dig through that. You can get that blown off as well. At some point, the leaves that have settled are becoming topsoil, and you wonder how far we're willing to dig, and at what point does it become too much of a hassle, and what point do we approach it a little bit differently? And I do believe that there will come a time where we need to approach it differently. I said it yesterday, and some of you didn't like it, and some of you liked it very much. I've thought about this a lot. We bear some of the responsibility for people that have been here 20 or 25 years, that have had children here, whose children have gone to school here, who have truly developed roots in the United States of America. I know many of these people. Yes, I've met people. I've sat down with people. I've broken bread with people, and I hope you have too, that come from different countries. Some of them came here illegally. And I feel for those people, because this should have been addressed many, 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 many years ago, because they were truly in violation of the rule of law. That doesn't mean that they're bad people. It means they did something that's against the law. What do we do about it? At some point, we have to settle on a line in the sand where those individuals have an ability to make what they did so many years ago right. And I've talked about this, and I won't belabor the point. I do not believe that every single human being that came to the United States of America illegally is going to be sent back home. I believe that that would create such a disruption in the fabric of the United States of America that at some point the majority of Americans would push back on the idea. But that does not mean that we cannot endeavor to abide by the law today, right now, and insist that those late comers, especially those that have come in the last 5 years, they have to be processed out. We have to eliminate that top layer before we can get down to the real work of reestablishing American sovereignty in the manner in which our founding fathers intended.